Is it possible to be seeing your period while you are pregnant? I don't even understand how this is even possible in the first place. Imagine what the doctor said. If the baby is just a month old and you claim you've not met your husband, that means that you have to start thinking where you got this baby from. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Blessing. I'm always happy to be here with you guys. I am a Niger State based YouTuber, so please, if it's your first time seeing this face, kindly subscribe and like this video if it was helpful to you, or if it's even just a question you were just looking for and stumbled on my video, please like this video and leave your comment. My husband is probably going to kill me for making this video because he has told me, you know what, just forget about this thing, just forget about this thing. He doesn't watch my videos, he doesn't watch my content, he doesn't like me doing YouTube, but it's something I want to do. So but if he sees the title, he might just be like, what have you put? So I'm going to be doing my makeup and then telling you guys about my own life story in case there's any woman there that needs this thing at the time that I need it, because I know when I was going through this thing, nothing I saw online helped me, nothing at all. So probably I'll be helping 1 or 2 persons. And yeah, let's go. So the question, is it possible to see your period while you are pregnant? I am going to start with how it started with me. We went to Abuja to go and visit my in-laws. It was like a mini vacation. So we went to visit our in-laws, and during the course of visiting my in-laws, I fell ill, and the illness was just like a day or 2 illness. So the first day I felt ill, I felt really weak. Did I feel nauseous? I really can't remember. So my sister-in-law came in. She saw me lying on bed. She was like, what's wrong with her? Like, I'm feeling so weak and really disgusted about everything. And she was like, okay, are you sure it's not pregnant? So I'm like, it's not possible because I'm just seeing my period. And she now said, okay, it's really not possible, that probably I need some rest due to the journey and, you know, taking care of kids and all of that. So I was like, it probably might be it, but I'm just sure it can't be pregnancy. So after 2 days, I got better. Everything cleared and I was still seeing my period normal. We now left Abuja and came back home. Once we came back home, everybody fell ill. I remember I made a vlog then talking about how everybody was ill in my house and I was the only one taking care of everybody. Everybody else fell ill and I was taking care of literally everybody in the house. Please, I'm not a makeup expert, so don't even start checking some of the things that I do wrong. The thing is that we already know what was happening to them because everybody there went for a test. So after they went for a test, they were diagnosed and they started treatment. So they started getting better as they were being treated. As they were getting better, I now fell ill. And you know the worst part is that I felt that since this was the same thing that happened to them, this might also be the same thing that will be happening to me, no doubt, because the same thing happened to all of them. My husband, Uzube, and the kids. So everybody was affected by the same thing. I was like, you know what? There's no need to test. I already know the same thing that will be happening to me. So I went into the hospital, told the doctor, with my husband obviously, and complained to the doctor because I was ill for like I think a week or so. I don't know. So doctor now said, okay, we have to do a pregnancy test first. And my husband was like, doctor, it's not possible. My wife saw her period before we came back here and we've not met since then. That was like 2 months ago. We went to Abuja. We've not met since then. So I'm like, doctor, I was like, madam, are you sure? I'm like, very sure, doctor, it's not possible because I saw my period, but I haven't met my husband since then. So it's not possible that I'm pregnant. He was like, okay, if you insist, let's go ahead with the treatment. So we went ahead with the treatment. I took my injections, malaria injections, and instead of getting better, after taking my injections, I got worse. I was on the bed like throughout. I did nothing, absolutely nothing. They were literally the one taking care of me, and it got to a point where I started getting repulsed by, you know, smells and all of that, and I started having cravings. So I told my husband one night, like, I craved peppered chicken, and he went out that night to go and get it. And when he came back, I was like, he brought it to me like, this is it. And I was like, why did you even buy the beef? That I don't even like this chicken, that he would have bought the beef instead. And he's like, this is what you asked me to buy. So I now said, okay, just put it in the freezer. I'm not in the mood anymore to eat it. Probably tomorrow I will be down for it. So the next day I put it on my WhatsApp that I don't know why smells repulses me now, if that's the correct English, but of course that should be a correct English. So yeah, I put it on my status. And some people started saying, you might be pregnant, you might be this, and I'm telling them, it's not even possible. This were like close people to me. I told them that it's not possible that I just saw my period, and even if I've not seen my period this month, I can't be pregnant. I can't fall pregnant and start, meeting a man. So I was so sure. Then my sister, one of my sisters and one of my friends was like, you know what, test tube is just 15 naira. Just go buy it and be sure. And I now said, okay, that's actually true. Test strip is not as expensive. It's not expensive, so why not just go and try it? There's no harm in trying. Anyway, there was no, how was I going to be pregnant? How? I didn't even have it in mind. So I sent in Zube. She went to buy the strip for me, and I reluctantly went to check. So after checking, I now picked up the stick, and I'm seeing 2 lines. Like, how did 2 lines appear? Like, how is it even possible? I started thinking, did I meet my husband? No, I did not. I saw my period the last 2 months, so how is this even possible? So the first person I called was my other sister. I'm like, this is what is happening, I'm pregnant, I don't understand how. And I was crying. I called her not because I was worried about how I got pregnant. I'm not worried about how I got pregnant, because if eventually there's a baby there, then there must be a mix-up somewhere. There must definitely be a mix-up. So I called her and I was crying because I know I did not want to get pregnant again at this point. And she was like, how did this happen? She thought I said I wasn't going to get pregnant. I'm like telling her that I don't even understand. Let's not even start talking about like me being pregnant. I don't even understand how this is even possible in the first place. And she's like, okay, just calm down. A baby is a blessing no matter how. I'm like, okay, no problem. I called my mom, I called my husband. My husband was like, how is this possible? I know when you saw your period last, and we've not met since that time now. And hey, God, it was just so crazy. I'm like telling him, I don't know about that. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened. And if it's somebody that doesn't trust you, obviously there will be a suspect and all of that. So he was like, no problem, we're going to go to the hospital and check things. I'm like telling him, see, let's even go now. Just come back home. Let us start going to the hospital, because I have to see if this is real or if it's just fake. Probably the test strip was giving me like a negative stuff that I did not know. Maybe it was faulty. I was like, no, don't worry, let's just go tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow came. I pressured him, we have to go and check. He said, don't worry, we're going to go the next day. I wasn't myself anymore because I had to know what was happening to me. So we went the next day. That was after 2 days of me testing. We went to the doctor and explained the situation to him. I was like, okay, we have to do a scan and know how old this baby is. Imagine what the doctor said. If this baby is just a month old and you claim you've not met your husband, that means that you have to start thinking where you got this baby from. Or if this baby is 2 months old, it only means that you were actually seeing your period while you were pregnant and you didn't know. I'm like, doctor, please, let's do a scan. And we did a scan, and it appeared that my baby was already 2 months old, which means when I was in Abuja and I was seeing my period, I was actually pregnant, and I saw my period full term. There's a difference between you seeing spotting and then you seeing a full-blown period. I saw my period full-blown. I and my husband went home confused. We couldn't understand what was happening, so we started browsing and browsing. Is it possible to see your period while you're pregnant? Is it possible? And every article I read on Google, every video I watched on YouTube pointed to the fact that it was not possible to see your period while you're pregnant. The only article I read on Google was Serena Williams. She said she went ahead to have a full-blown circle and didn't know she was pregnant, and she gave birth to a healthy baby. That was the only article that helped me and my mental health and, just everything, like thinking about everything. But I cried. I didn't want the baby. I kept on saying and, all of that. But at the long run, I had to accept it. I'm like, since you're already here, you have to come out and I have to see you. That was how we went on with that. So obviously, it is possible to see your period while you are pregnant. Did I ever think this was going to happen to me? No. This is literally a situation whereby you never think something like this is going to happen to you. That's why all these people I used to say is not my portion. If it's not a portion, whose portion is it? Anything can happen to you, no matter how you feel that it happens to like just 1% of people in the world. You can fall into that 1%. That's the point I'm trying to make. So yeah, It is a rare condition, obviously, but it happens. So we now went ahead. I now made a video on YouTube until like that I'm pregnant, and I think I was like 10 weeks or 11 weeks then. I made the video, and I didn't know I was pregnant in that video, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a reaction to that video. My reaction was that I was not happy. I wasn't happy about that baby. That's my reaction. So, but I never made a reaction video because before that time, I was already feeling a lot of pain on my waist. I was having like these cramps on my back pain. I was having cramps, but I just took it like normal pregnancy stuff. I will walk around and this thing will stop and then it will start again. I will lie down, it wouldn't stop, it will still go on. And I was just thinking to myself, I've had 2 healthy babies. In case you don't know, I have 2 children. I've had 2 healthy babies, so it's not, there should be nothing to this. This should just be normal pregnancy, wahala, and it's going to pass. Wahala means problem. So on the night, I and my husband were discussing about the baby's name, how the sleeping arrangements will be, the sex of the baby. We were arguing and talking about that. I'm like, you know what, I've been having this feeling to go and check this baby for some time on scan that we haven't gone for a while, and Ethan wants to see the baby. He's been like so crazy about the baby. Laura is not really aware of what was happening, so he was like, okay, no problem, let's go to the next day. So the next day we went. I was really excited. I might just put a little clip of when we went to check out the baby. And this doctor spent up to an hour on my stomach for what? For scanning. I'm like, is it not the same scanning I've been doing with my other kids? Like, what's happening? And the doctor started asking me some weird questions. Like, doctor, is everything okay? He was like, yes, we just want to confirm something. I was like, okay, no problem. So when the doctor finished, he told me that I could go out and my husband could stay back. And I was surprised because this is the first time this is happening. How can you finish checking a woman and you're telling her to go out? But I didn't feel anything. So I went out, and my husband and the doctor spent almost how many minutes discussing? 50 to 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. And I got so angry because I got tired, I got hungry. So when he now finished, we now entered the car. He said my mother was calling him. And I'm like, my mother, this night? That what's happening? I hope they're okay. I was like, yeah, he's going to call her back. I don't know, call her now. They might not be okay. And he's like, don't worry, he's going to call her back. Not knowing that he already called my mom to tell her what was going on. So he now said, okay, we're going to go and see them. I'm like, okay, no problem. So we now went, which was even weird because that night to go and see my mom. So when we now came in, I now asked my mom, what's going on? Is everything okay? And she was like, yeah, everything is okay. So I now went in to see my sister. And then my mom came into the room as well, and she was like, you have to know that people have gone to school, came out, graduated, and died immediately. People went to school, went to NYSC, and they just died. Like no achievement or whatsoever, or nothing to write home about the school they went or the suffering the parents suffered for them. People have done this and they lost their life. I'm like, mommy, did anybody die? Like, stop putting me in suspense, just say it out already. And she's like, no, nothing happened to anybody. And then she was quiet for some time, and then she now told me, the thing is that you have to be strong. The baby inside you is no more. And all I could do was just like look at her. And then I started laughing hysterically. I was laughing, and my sister was like, what's wrong with her? My mom was like, don't worry, it's just the stage, it's normal, just allow her do her thing. And after laughing, I started crying. Cause how did this happen? How did it ever happen? So then I cleaned my eyes. I was like, okay. I went out to the sitting room. I told my husband, let's go, I've had it, let's just go home. We went home. I told my husband, and the doctor told him that I had to come and do an evacuation immediately, because the more it stays inside you, the riskier it is. So, because it's prone to like give you all those like infections and all of that. So it's very risky to leave like a dead baby inside you. So I told my husband I wasn't going to evacuate this baby until I go somewhere else and check for them to confirm. I prayed to God that night like I've never prayed before. I told him to revive my baby no matter how. I said I didn't want this baby, but that I wanted to, focus on my career first, focus on the children I already have. But after that happened, I was like, you know what? The life of my children comes first, much more than any career or anything. I was like, God, please just help me. I'm willing to stay take care of this, nurture this baby till this baby grows before I even start any career in it. The next day we went to another scanning center, and it was confirmed that my baby had no heartbeat. So I accepted in good faith. And yeah, that was it. That was like literally it. And I went in for evacuation. I went in for evacuation, took my wrapper, took my underpads, and you know what, just went for the most painful thing that I was about to experience. Much more painful than childbirth, because you're battling two things: the pain from your body and the pain of a dead baby. So went in, they did the evacuation for me. Evacuation now is like they put like a tablet inside your JJ. My own tablet, the first tablet that was supposed to work under how many minutes, did not work. They put another one, it did not work. They put the third one, and just know that the process of putting this is like putting their hand inside you, basically. It was so painful. It was so painful. I was feeling pains all around. I was mourning my baby and I was feeling the pain of them. In fact, there was just so much about that. I know some of you might be asking, how did my baby die inside me? And I didn't know. This is a case of miscarriage. It gives you no sign. Although my sign was this little cramps I was feeling, but you already know that cramps are normal things in pregnancies, so I didn't take it as anything. So I took it as a normal, stuff. At that point in time, there was one of my friends also who stays in Port Harcourt that also lost her baby. She expelled blood and all of those, the tissues of the baby, but I expelled nothing. There was no sign, there was no bleeding, there was nothing. After browsing and checking up everything, I had what was called a miscarriage. It gives you no sign, but your baby dies inside you. So that is it. And later, after the third one in the night, they put some intra. There was just something they called they gave me some drip, gave me some drugs to drip as well. And later in the night, my baby was expelled. After the baby was expelled, the nurse still took her hand inside me to clear me up inside so that I wouldn't have any tissues or anything left, and I could be able to get pregnant again and be healthy also to avoid infections inside me and all of that. So yeah, that is my story. The funny thing about this whole thing is that some people who later heard about this called me up and were blaming me for putting out my pregnancy on YouTube. But what they didn't know is that even before I put that pregnancy on YouTube, that baby was already gone. That is why you don't have to judge people by the things you hear. You don't have to judge by things. That baby was already gone as even before I put that video out on YouTube. So, and it was really, really insensitive of them to even start saying that to a woman who lost her child. Very, very insensitive. You guys, some people have to really know how to talk. They really, really know, because you just might be hurting somebody's feelings and you don't even realize it. So that is my story. Finally evacuated, gave me some drugs to take and help wash away any other thing and all that. And yeah, so that is the story of my miscarriage. So I am done. Tell me I did justice to this makeup. But yeah, let's just round up with my story, because I don't know how I was talking and I wasn't even going ahead with my makeup. But yeah, after the whole miscarriage or miscarriage, whatever, I started thinking about all the odds of getting pregnant again. Like, what are really the odds? I browsed, is this possible to get pregnant again? Because I think miscarriage are even more dangerous than the normal miscarriage. I even know of a woman who had a miscarriage but has stayed for months. Like, she never knew her baby was no more until she went for a routine scan check, and that was where she found out that her baby had no heartbeat. Up until today, that woman had only one child. She never took in, she never gave birth to another child. And I'm just thinking, all other ladies that I've seen that had miscarriages have either not gotten pregnant. Some actually did get pregnant after, say, a year or two, or all of that. So what are the odds? And all I can say to myself is just take care of the kids you have now. God has blessed you with a son and a daughter, and the only thing you can do now is take care of them and not just worry about getting pregnant. But if I still have the power, I am going to want to get pregnant again, because right inside me I just feel like something is really missing. Something is missing. So tell me, do you know somebody, or have you gone through a miscarriage and still went ahead to get pregnant and have a healthy baby? I've browsed it, and yes, it's possible, because they said after you have your normal period, then you can get pregnant again. But just tell me the odds, because what I'm seeing from people around me is like not what is happening. Just let me know. And I also pray to other women who are also trying to conceive, and all of that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video.